because of the defining flavor.
And we're back here on the Stogie Geek Show. Just want to remind everyone that you can visit our website, www.stogiegeeks.com, for all the latest cigar reviews, videos, and audio versions of the show. That's right, you can watch us, you can listen to us, and you can find it all, including the stogies we've been smoking, on stogiegeeks.com. Now on to our next segment, Wicked Strong Cigars. I don't know where I came up with this segment, but I thought it'd be kind of fun to talk about the cigars that, I mean, for me, I don't know. It depends on how you find Wicked Strong, right? Like, this is the cigar for me that I reach to late at night. It's typically
after a full meal.
After a full meal, it's typically of a smaller size. Has a really strong flavor profile. It's full-bodied, strong nicotine. I mean, strong can mean a lot of things, right?
See, now I took it as pure strength, not necessarily
Now,
full
strength,
flavor.
Okay, so strength,
full strength.
but strength and body. So I think flavor, body, and strength are three different things.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, there's no doubt about it.
Okay. So we're all in agreement there.
So a couple on my list, Paul, are not necessarily full flavored, but they are full strength. I'll just put it out there. So I kind of differed a little bit from what your definition was.
Sure, absolutely. So we've got some Viaje on both our lists.
Yes. And the first one in your list almost made it to mine. So.
Yeah, okay. So it's Viaje Skull and Bones, the mystery. Yeah. This is the one with the question mark. I think this is the best representation of pepper, awesome flavor, nice balance of the strength and the flavor. Mark Jr., you're shaking your head.
Agree 100%.
Okay. You're shaking your
I
head.
thought he was
awesome.
disagreeing.
I thought he
awesome
was too.
smoke.
Yeah.
And I'm really, really excited to see what happens with it eventually.
You know what, though? I'm really pissed off that I didn't buy more of these.
Yeah.
I'm not, because I bought a lot.
Did you really?
Yeah.
I think I remember you telling me
did.
this. Yeah.
I probably the first time I went in to Joyle's, I smoked one and I loved it. I went back and I bought 5. I smoked all of those. I went back and bought every last one he had. I think it was like 12 more, and I've smoked like 3 of those. And I don't know if it's going to be around till I can find out what it's like, because I love them now.
Yeah.
But I do want to at least hold on to 2.
I want more of these.
The ones I want more of are the ones you talked about last show, which is the
that's on my list,
February
too. Yeah.
red label release.
This is the Viaje Skull and Bones Weapon of Mass Destruction.
Correct.
The WMD from 2011 of March last year. They came in a short torpedo and a short robusto.
Correct.
Those are on my list too, and I have to say,
I thought personally those had more flavor, same amount of strength.
yeah.
I thought they had more
So my
flavor.
assessment of those after a year in the humidor, this is my go-to after dinner short smoke, well balanced spice and pepper. It has it's pepper, not as much as the mystery, but it's very well balanced. Got a great flavor profile, and just I think even more balanced than the mystery. Perhaps, but I only smoked one of the mystery, so. And I haven't smoked one in a while, so it's hard to compare. Because, like I said, the Weapon of Mass Destruction from 2011 sat in my humidor for a full year before I even touched it. Really, I mean, I smoked one, and I was like, "Wow, that needs some age." Like, I can see some potential in that, so I bought a few more, and I found a couple more, and there was like 2 more left in the humidor that like falling behind the shelf, and I got one extra because I expressed how much I loved them, and then that was it. So,
I didn't like this year's all that well, but I've never tried the 2011. So.
Yeah, I haven't really smoked. See, there's so many different of the WMD and the FOAB and the Moab.
There's been 12 now of the Skull and Bones, so almost 10 or 12.
Yeah, I don't know. You think it's? I mean, the FOAB and the Moab are just getting kind of so kind of reviews. You think it's worth? But I don't know.
I'm probably not.
Yeah.
So how does this one compare to the?
So
Daisy,
what I want to know
Cutter, which is the original.
Oh, the original Daisy Cutter is just far and above.
Okay.
I don't think that's wicked strong. I mean, maybe because that's got some more age
it's
on it.
2 years old. To the month.
I don't find that to be wicked strong.
Yeah.
But that's certainly very special. That cigar's Oasis for sure.
It's on my list for the weekend.
There's one right there.
Yeah, that's.
I just gave Mark Jr. one.
Smoke that now. I mean, that's just an amazing.
I got to thank the BOTL brother who sold me a 5-pack of these because there was literally only 150 boxes made. And it's been my white whale for a long time. So
now I was sitting next to my good friend Walt, who smoked one of those when they were first coming out, and he was wowed by it. I mean, it was really.
I mean, it put Viaje on the map.
It did.
It did. On the map.
So I think Viaje pretty much tops our list as far as like the best wicked strong cigars.
It was
Would
number
you-
one on my list. I was going to go backwards, but since we've gone there, I'll go with my number one. It's the Viaje Super Shot 10 gauge.
No, so the 10 gauge and the 12 gauge, which one's larger?
10
10.
gauge.
10 gauge is larger.
Yeah,
Okay.
like a shotgun.
Because a shotgun, the 10 gauge is a larger round, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Released, I believe, February-ish, or maybe it was March, actually, of this year. Very limited production, much of
Yeah,
Viaje.
I got like a small sampling of
I
them
bought a
still
lot
left.
of them again
Yeah.
because of that again.
I got about a dozen, and they were gone in about 2 months. I
Yeah.
smoked every single last one.
I can tell you that
I've exercised some discipline on that.
The
I have like 5
You're
left.
more disciplined than I am, dude.
Now, the WMDs from 2011 smoke very similar, I think, to the Super Shots.
Okay.
Okay.
You have a similar flavor profile.
Interesting to know because there's still some of those around.
Yeah.
Yeah, full strength, full flavor. It was a 3.5 by 54 nub, as I called it.
Mm-hmm.
A short Robusto, if you want, a Grand Robusto. This thing made me sit down. I mean, I was standing on the deck on a Saturday night after a large barbecue, got about a third of the way into it, and looked at my wife and said, I need to sit down. You want to talk about strength? I loved every second of it. I know it's only 3.5 inches long, but if you think you're going to take this down to anything less than an hour, you are dead wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect burn, perfect draw. I don't know what they're using for a binder in this thing.
It's without a doubt the
Or
best release they've
wrapper.
come out with this year. I haven't
I
tried
agree.
the Friends and Family yet, but that's without a doubt the best.
I have no doubt this will make it to my top 10 list for the year.
I mean, I think it's safe to say we all smoke a lot of the Viaje releases that come in. So what we're saying is Skull and Bones Mystery, of course, the original Daisy Cutter, Viaje Skull and Bones Weapon of Mass Destruction from 2011,
Correct.
and the Viaje Super Shot. 10 gauge, 12 gauge, what's the difference? Is you find them to be very similar?
Same flavors. 12 gauge had a little less power.
Okay.
Oh, I thought there was. I preferred the 10 to the 12
Yeah.
all day.
Now, I took down the 12 at lunch.
Yep.
I had no problem doing
Okay,
so.
so it's not as strong.
Yeah, it's
So
not
the
as
10
strong.
gauge, which is the larger size in that,
Correct.
so I can identify them in my humidor. I think I have more of the 10 gauge than I do the 12.
That was the
I
initial
bought way
release.
more of the 10s than the 12s.
That was the first
10
ones
came
that
in
hit.
first. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that was
bought
the
more of
first one
those.
that hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
if you
think
just-
because Stogie Santa said these are awesome. Like you pretty
Yeah.
much told me, like stock up on them. We don't have
it's
many.
box worthy. I think Ben from NiceTightAsh.com has got it right. I think these are going to age fantastically, much like
Yeah.
a lot of the Skull and Bones.
Yeah. And again, I go back to with the Andre Farkas, right, the creator of Viaje. Some of them are just so spectacular, and some of them not so much, and it's tough to know which ones. And then they change with age, and like, how do you know?
I'll give him credit when credit's due. I think going to just exclusive releases this year in 2012 has been a plus because I've noticed a huge difference in both the quality and the construction of the releases this year compared to last. Last year there were a lot of releases that were very young.
Yeah.
And yes, some of the releases this year have been a little young, but not to the
It's interesting you say
you
that.
know.
We're going to talk about Viaje. Let's talk about it more. I mean,
Okay,
shit, while we're on the topic, right? Whatever.
let's go with it.
Go with it. The C4.
Yes.
When that first came in, I smoked one. That was strong. I mean, that's on my list of strong cigars. But I smoked only one when it first came in. Now I bought a bunch,
And it's been almost a year.
and it's almost a year, and I haven't
It was Memorial
smoked.
Day last week.
I haven't
Last year.
smoked another one yet. So
Okay.
maybe that's on my list of this weekend to smoke. Construction. Ben saying the construction's an issue on the C4. Well,
Yeah,
the
I've had a
C4 is
few issues.
interesting because you could smoke it on either end, right? Like both ends have a.
It was
Do both ends have a
completely
cap? I
Symmetrical.
don't know.
It was
Yes.
completely
Yeah,
symmetrical.
both ends
yeah.
have a cap, and it yeah.
Cut it in half and get 2 cigars out of it?
You
Yes,
could
you could
cut in half
and
and have
get
2 cigars.
out of
Yep,
it.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So I probably won't do that, but I will
it's
smoke
only
one.
this long, though.
Yeah, you do have to cut both ends to get it lit.
Yes.
So I will smoke one of them. I'm curious to see how those have aged after a year.
Speaking of a year, and it's been almost a year. Next one on my list.
Oh, I'm sorry. So just go back to Viaje for 1 second.
Okay.
TNT and Summerfest
Yes.
were also released a year ago.
Yes.
Roughly in
To
the
the day.
summertime.
To the day.
Yeah. And those were way too young to smoke when they first came out.
Oh, especially the Summerfest.
Yeah, the Summerfest was like, did he pick it from the plant and just put it in the cigar?
Yeah.
Like, it was really, really young. It was horrid to smoke. I couldn't finish it.
Yeah, I
Oh,
couldn't
it was
finish
awful.
Neither size.
Now, I had a Summerfest Robusto that was just phenomenal. So I'm curious
From
to
the
see.
previous year.
Yeah, and I mean the Summerfest with the gigantic shaggy foot, those were okay too.
It's just obnoxious.
Yeah,
The shaggy foot.
it's an obnoxious shaggy foot. Yeah. So
You
after
can't. Last year's release, though, you could smoke the shaggy foot.
yeah,
It
but
would smoke,
but this is the thing.
Even as long as it was, you
Yeah.
did.
I did.
I think I want to go
The
back.
shaggy foot was the only good part of the cigar.
I want to go back and see what a year in the humidor has done to all those
I'm
cigars.
curious. I don't have any left
because they tend to do magic for his cigars.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So
So speaking of summer releases, about a year old, next one on my list is the Tatuhare M80. This was the two guys only release. I believe it was released 4th of July weekend last year. I do have a couple left. Thank you, Stogie Santa.
I have one or two left. Stogie Santa divvied up that box, and
Yes.
yeah.
I missed the boat on those.
I'm hoping to take one down this weekend. It's been a year since I had one.
See, I didn't think that was great.
I loved it, man.
I thought it was good.
I put it right up there with the Super Shot, to be honest with you. Yeah.
I didn't hold it in this high regard.
Now, in all fairness, I only smoked one because I kind of missed the boat with them.
I only smoked one. Yeah, and I only had a couple kicking around in my humidor.
You and I had spent a lot of money on smokes around that time.
We did.
We got the text from Stogie Santa. You and I both hesitated.
Yep.
And I regret that. So I only got a few.
Yeah.
I
agree it's a solid smoke. It just doesn't stand out as my mind.
It's a strong smoke.
Yeah, it's strong.
Yeah.
I like the Viaje, so the Viajes we talked about better.
Okay, interesting.
I know, that's just me.
You know, we're gonna.
I tried to limit it to 5.
I'm going to revisit in the next show because I want to smoke another one.
Yeah.
So,
now, Mark Jr., what else is on your list aside from the Viaje as wicked strong cigars that you enjoy?
My favorite of all time, the Opus X, is crazy strong.
Yes. So now, which one, if you had to put it in a list of top 5 with other super strong cigars, which ones?
Which Vitolas, you mean?
Yeah, I can guess. It's Power Ranger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really strong.
he's looking at Paul like, "What are you crazy?"
They're
Paul's doing what he does best.
They're strong, very very strong. And they don't lose it. Oh, you know, we've said it on the show numerous times. It's not even worth smoking an Opus till it's a couple years old.
Yeah.
And beyond,
I've
even though
smoked
they're a
some-
couple years old, and they're not,
I
they
gotta be
don't
honest,
lose
I
the
can't
power.
handle them usually when they.
I want to say it was 2 summers ago. I smoked one when it first came out, and it was the most unbelievable, overpowering smoking. I mean,
It's
it was like
outrageous how strong
ridiculous.
they are when they first come
I
out.
couldn't even enjoy it. It was so strong. Couldn't even enjoy it.
Yeah, I agree with that assessment
Yeah.
entirely. It's a very.
It's not true with
very
all
strong
most
cigar.
Opus. If you smoke when it first comes in, it's just not enjoyable.
Yeah.
So
no.
because it's so strong. Now I had on my list as far as the best wicked strong cigars, the Opus X BBMF Maduro. Because at the end of that cigar, it is unbelievably strong. But it's such an amazing smoking experience. I mean that has to be in top 5. That's in there.
Yeah, both of them would be in my top 5. Actually, yeah. I mean, I didn't
I do like the
prepare. I
power.
didn't create a top 5 right coming into this, but I would agree that the Super Shot, the Mystery, the Skull and Bones Mystery, the Opus Power Ranger, and the BBMF Maduro were all extremely enjoyable, extremely strong smokes.
I agree.
Awesome.
Tim.
All right, what's on next on my list? One we talked about earlier. You talked about specifically, Paul. The PG Symphony 20 Salamone. For some reason, I love the smoke, but this thing kicks my you-know-what. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but for whatever reason, the strength on this, it's a love-hate relationship with me. I don't dare take this down without a full meal in my stomach for whatever reason. I don't get the same strength off the Robusto, which obviously is a smaller size. It's only the Salamone. But it made it to number 3 on my list. This size particularly, I love every minute of it. So
I'm sorry.
it makes me sweat. If I had it,
the Salamone, really? You think that's strong?
yeah, man.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know what it is. I mean, I love it. Don't get me wrong. It's a great smoke. It's box worthy, but yeah, it makes me sweat every single time. But I feel the same way about most Opus X's. I mean. The only difference is I think the PG has more flavor than most Opus X's, so I enjoyed it a bit more. So,
Yes. I had La Flor Dominicana El Jaco. I felt I had to put
That's a good call, man.
I had to put a La Flor Dominicana on my list.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I just had to because they do make some really strong cigars. And if I had to pick my top strong La Flor Dominicana, it'd be the El Jaco, hands down. I mean, this one had some years of age, but still had this full-bodied kick and power to it that was just unbelievable. I saw these on an online retailer. I've heard they've been discontinued.
I believe they have. Yep.
I'm tempted to get more. Nice flavors, full-bodied, hands down.
I
Gotta
agree
be
with
on the
you.
list.
This almost made my list, and I'm glad you added it. If you get more, let me know because I might split some with you. So
Yeah.
it's a great
I'll,
song.
I'll send it to you. Well, maybe we'll make a decision there.
Yeah, absolutely.
They don't make the El Jacos anymore.
Yeah, they
No.
don't make them anymore, but I found them online. I don't know what the deal is with that. I don't know if it's real or not.
I don't
Who
know.
knows?
either,
Leftovers.
Yeah.
Leftovers.
Mark Jr., what else is comes to your mind?
How about LFTs?
In particular, I had these double Lajero, or I still have these double Lajero Oscuro Lanceros that are really strong little cigars that are
Nice.
super enjoyable. They were a limited release. They came in Cameroon and the Oscuro wrapper. As you would imagine, Cameroon is not quite as strong as the Oscuro wrapper, but
Now, last week I smoked the Double Lajero A size, which is a 7-inch.
you convinced me to smoke one of them again.
Awesome, man.
Awesome.
Did you smoke one, Mark Jr.?
I did, yeah, of course.
I'm gonna smoke one. I'm gonna
it-
smoke one this weekend.
It was a
hopefully.
while since I'd smoked one, and then Tim, as these shows often do, you smoke something, Paul smokes something,
Yeah, yeah,
and,
you're
and
like,
I
"Oh,
go
I
back
need
and
to
I
try
have
that,"
one
yeah.
of those. I need to go back to it, you know.
Yeah. That 7 inches of pure bliss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, easy box worthy on that.
Absolutely.
Easy box worthy.
Thank
Great,
you again, Bill
great,
Barris,
Great
for
smoke.
sending that to me.
Yeah, great smoke.
Speaking of LFD, I have the Double Lajero Chisel from 2003. I think all of us have had these.
yeah.
Stogie Santa has some lying around. I cannot believe how much power these things have, even after all this time. I cannot imagine what they were like back in 2003. Again, pure bliss. 9 years of age. I love it. I love the Lajero sweetness on them. I love the power on them. I've smoked probably 4 or 5. Every single one has been on a Saturday night after a full meal.
No, it's interesting. Lajero does have a sweetness to it.
Oh, absolutely.
It's strong, right?
And I
But
can recognize it right away whenever
It does
I
have a
hear
sweetness to it.
and whenever
Yeah.
I taste it. So that
Especially-
was number 4 on my list. So.
Yeah, I mean, even La Flor is probably, I would guess, right, being Dominican,
Yeah.
a Dominican Lajero.
Yeah.
And you typically, when you like Stogie Santa says, you think Dominican, you think kind of mild, but they can grow some really strong tobacco.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, Opuses are Dominican too.
Yeah, exactly.
Good point, man.
I would say Opus is the strongest, nicotine-wise, strongest.
I would agree
Oh,
with that. As far as
Nick-
Dominican is concerned.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything.
I've watched people turn green
Oh yeah,
smoking them.
Well, that's one of the reasons I can't smoke them, man. They're just too strong for me. I mean,
Yeah.
it's,
When they first came out.
what's that?
yeah.
Ben?
The Tatuaje M80 was strong when it first came out.
Yep.
I had the Liga Privada T52 Double Corona.
Or the Corona Double, as they call it.
T52 for me is a really strong blend. I find it to be very strong. That's the stalk cut, which we've talked about on the show.
Yep.
They cut the whole plant down, kind of thing. And when I want to be outside and I want to smoke something with a punch, and I want it to pour a lot of smoke, I want it to burn nice, and I want it to have some flavor and some strength to it, I turn to this stick. It's got excellent construction and a great flavor profile. It's a 2+ hour smoke. I mean, you're done after you smoke this stick.
yeah, yeah.
It's a lot of power. It's a big stick, and that kind of tops out my list.
Awesome. Last one. I put the MK Ultra on my list. Now, I call this the Tootsie Roll flavored firecracker. I don't know why it reminds me of a Tootsie Roll, but it does flavor-wise. And that second half, man, again, the Lajero kicks my ass on the second half. I love every second of it. He recently released some other sizes. The Ultra is a Corona, I believe. I haven't had a chance to try some of the other sizes. I believe there's a Robusto in there.
Well, the MK is the Corona, right? But
Yes.
aren't they putting out other Ultra blends?
Yes, but the original Ultra was also Corona. It was the
It was the
same
MK
size.
Ultra, yeah.
I smoked some of those that were really good. I smoked some that were just okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it made my
I don't-
list. Sneaky is what I
They are sneaky strong.
I had one of the strangest burn issues I've ever had with a cigar on an MK Ultra recently.
Really?
Yeah. Right about a half inch below the burn mark, a whole burn started to form, and smoke was coming out of it. And I thought, weird, I didn't notice a hole there when I started smoking it because smoke was coming out of it. And then I noticed that it was burning.
Interesting.
So as I was inhaling, the hole was burning and burning out and burning out. And it burnt out all the way to the burn line, which created this crazy uneven burn.
Yeah, canoe, yeah.
Oh, crazy uneven burn. But surprisingly enough, in a short cigar, it corrected itself relatively quickly.
Weird.
Nice.
Without any correction. But
Well,
that says
something about the construction. So,
yeah, I felt it was noted that should be said that was the weirdest burn issue I've ever had with a cigar.
Interesting.
Nice.
I think that rounds out our list, right?
It does.
Any honorable mentions, Paul?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. I'm going to go with the El Jaco. I think that's an honorable mention.
Yeah, that's a great cigar.
I kept going back and forth between the MK Ultra and the El Jaco, but I think that's a legitimate ad right there.
The Hoya de Nicaragua and Tanos are also very strong cigars.
They are.
Yeah.
They are, yeah.
And I like them, especially the older ones.
Full flavored.
What do you want to do? All right, so we'll take a very short break, come back, and talk about some versatile cigars.